All right, the next one we'll talk about here. Dads are heroes. They make a huge change in a local town school. A lot of times, many of you go, dude, do a feel-good story. Let's talk about how good men are. Let's talk about how awesome men are. And I say, I do these videos, and if you look at my video views, these are always viewed the least. And what I think it is I think a lot of guys know dads are important. And I think a lot of men know men are good. And so a lot of time when I do these stories and I say, hey, let's talk about how great men are, a lot of guys see the video title and they go, oh, yeah, I know we're good. I'm not going to watch that. They for some reason, like the crazy stories that I put out there, and they like to make fun of that stuff. So just keep that in mind, that I would do more of these stories, but they don't seem to be the most popular ones. So the main article I'm going to be reading from here is this one. After a high school goes viral for massive brawl, community dads organize to help fatherless students. That's going to be the main article I'm going to read. But I wanted to show you a couple of clips. I've said many times that dads are important. My dad is my hero, like legit. He worked hard. He took care of our family. He was always a loving, devoted father to my mother, or a husband to my mother, and father to us kids. He taught me very well. He taught me the school of hard knocks, which is taking accountability and responsibility. He taught me stoicism. Like, my father is the most important man in my life, and my mother's the most important woman in my life. They taught me well. And I think today we've gotten away from, we get into the dumb dad commercials where the dad's an idiot and he can't figure anything out. And we see men getting kind of put down in movies and things like that. And even on Father's Day, Google will change their landing page to reflect, International Women's Day and Mother's Day and all these other things. But they don't, at least last I saw, they didn't change it for Father's Day. And a lot of the articles on Father's Day are not in appreciation of Father's Day. They're why mothers today should be appreciated because of all the single moms. It's like, well, how about we talk about maybe there's too many single moms and why we need to get the family unit back together. Anyway, watch this gentleman. This is a guy that was he was serving overseas for our military, and thank you for those that have. And he came home to surprise his son, who was sleeping in bed, who didn't know it was him. He probably thought it was his mom. For those of you listening, it's a dad that's leaning in and rubbing his son's back and his hair and giving him a kiss and trying to wake him up. And that he doesn't know it's his dad yet. He jumped into his father's arm and he's crying, and his dad's just holding him and swinging him around. This kind of thing is what I love, these representations, and I do come across them. I don't put them out all the time, but these are the kind of things that we need to talk more about. And it's less about, I think what we've done in society today is, hey, let's support these single moms, let's give them programs, and let's make sure that these women are taken care of when the dad's not in their lives. But what I think we need to talk about a little bit more and put more emphasis on is, why are men not staying around? Now, there are deadbeat dads that bounce. I'm not going to put it all on the women. That would be kind of crazy. But there are definitely some deadbeat dads. And then we could have a conversation about maybe making birth control and other things like that free to everyone. Just anybody that wants birth control, you can have it. And that way we get away from the baby deletion problem where maybe that's lowered and that the unwanted pregnancies don't happen. But we still need to talk about why the culture is so okay and cheers on single moms and cheers them on to be strong and independent and leaving dad and leaving fathers behind. There are a lot of fathers that want to be involved in their children's lives. And they're not being allowed to, because I forget, there was a web page, and I did this in a video like a year ago. There was a web page that it was a law office that was basically kind of hinting that women should, it's okay if, if he ever laid a finger on you or said really harsh words or withheld money from you, that could be seen as a form of harm, and you can ask for extra compensation during the divorce, and it gives you more likelihood of getting custody of the kids, which means you'd get extra child support. Like when we're rigging the system around that kind of thing, we're leaving good men like this gentleman, and we're leaving happy children that love their fathers in a bad place, and that is really harming society. We'll see here. This is a CBS Evening News report about a school having problems with fights, with discipline problems. And again, I think this comes from not having, mothers are great at handling feelings. At least my mother was. And they may be bad at handling feelings, but they handle feelings. That's what women primarily do with their children, which is, Mom, this person hurt my feelings. Mom would go into the school and say, hey, that other kid, hurt my son's feelings or was a bully or was doing these things. We need to handle that. Or if a kid comes home and says, Mom, the girl I really like, this happened, and moms are great about saying, you know what, you're my special boy, or you're wonderful, and you just need to be like, that's a mom's job, right? What dads do, dads are the guys that are like, well, okay, if you get in an altercation and a boy takes a pop at you, let's teach you how to handle it. Let's teach you how to defend yourself. Let's teach you how to protect yourself. If a boy comes home and says, Dad, this girl hurt my feelings, Dad's the one that's going to say, that's going to happen. That's going to happen, son. That's kind of life. Life sometimes gives you lemons, as they like to say. You're going to have a hard time with some of that stuff. But here's the good news. There's going to be plenty more girls. Like, you'll forget about her in time. It's that stoicism. It's that strength. It's that inner fortitude of relying upon yourself. And there's been studies about this, that men very much help young children, both female and male, learn their limits, learn what they can and can't get away with, learn what they should and should not do when it comes to repercussions, when it comes to paying your dues for problems that you may have started. So let's look at this video, and then you'll kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about here. Oh, and before, if for some reason it's dropped out, like I either drop out the audio or it's clipped from here, that means that I uploaded it and YouTube said, no, this is copyright material, and it means I have to remove it. But I'll tell you what it is beforehand in case I have to clip it. It's kids fighting, and then they show a bunch of dads walking through the school, helping students and that kind of thing. So we'll talk about it after.
Not many good news stories begin in such a bad news way. It happened last month here at Southwood High School in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Plagued with violence.
Over the course of 3 days,
Another fight.
23 students arrested for fighting.
Massive police response to
But strangely, there hasn't been another incident since. Perhaps in part because of this most unusual crisis intervention team.
Nobody here has a degree in school counseling. No majors in criminal justice.
No.
Your qualifications are?
Well, Dad, we decided the best people who can take care of our kids are who? For us. What we do.
So Michael Lafitte started Dads on Duty,
We're out doing what we do for our babies.
a group of about 40 Southwood dads who now hang out at the school in shifts. Today, any negative energy that enters the building has to run a gauntlet of good parenting.
You moving fast. I like that horse.
I immediately felt a form of safety. We stopped fighting. People started going to class.
How could that be?
You ever heard of a look?
A look? Dads have the power to do that?
Yes. Not many people know it, but yes.
Let's go.
But it's not just the firm stares and stern warnings.
Make it to class, my son.
It's also the dad jokes.
They just make funny jokes like, oh, hey, your seat's untied, but it's really not untied.
And they hate it. They're so embarrassed by it.
And it's that perfect mix of tough love and gentle ribbing that dads do so well that has helped transform this school.
The school has really just been like happy, and you can feel it.
Which is why the dads plan to keep coming to Southwood indefinitely.
Because not everybody has the father figure at home.
Or a male, period, in their life.
So just to be here makes a big difference.
Do you think you stumbled onto something here?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They'd like to start chapters of Dads on Duty throughout Louisiana.
What's up, big boy?
And hope to eventually take on the country.
All right.
Without a fight. Steve Hartman.
So what's so important here, and what a lot of people don't understand is young men, especially young men are rather like a pack of wolves. Young men need a pack leader. They need someone that they can look up to. They need someone that makes them feel secure. They need a social cohesion that is different from women. Now, a lot of times in school, there's going to be the bully, and the bully intimidates people, and he's not liked at all. That's someone that's not respected, but he decides to take control because it's a power trip for him. But then there's others, whether it's a good quarterback on a football team, whether it's a good teacher. When I was in school, we obviously didn't have these dads roaming the halls and kind of giving this law and order, so to speak. We didn't have them roaming the halls, but what we did have is strong teachers. The teachers at the time, there were a lot more male teachers when I went to school than there are now. I would say back then it was about 50-50. These men were, hey, knock it off, straighten up, XYZ. They were in charge. Well, about 85% of all teachers are now female. And that means a lot less males, not only in the classroom, but just that young people encounter today. And without that, a young boy that wants to get in a fight, when a female teacher says, stop, hey, please stop, I'm going to send you to the principal's office, no respect. But when a man, at least, again, in my day, I can't speak today, but when a man steps up and physically intervenes between the two, and I've seen some kids, especially when I was in school, yanked off each other by a couple of male teachers, physically, grabbed by the shirt, the belt, whatever, and yanked off each other. There's a little bit of law and order there. Well, now when a teacher does that today, they get in trouble by the school system because mom will complain, and all of a sudden it's, oh, you put your hands on a student. We've gotten so soft, not realizing that, again, these weak men lead to bad times. Well, these dads are coming in, 40 of them, and obviously they're dads themselves, and what they're doing is they're providing the strength and the character and the role model of being a good dad to maybe a lot of kids that don't have dads, as even as they were saying. They don't have that positive role model. So 40 guys are coming into school in shifts, and it looks like, for those of you just listening, looks to be a pack of about, maybe 10 at a time, doing a bunch of different shifts. They laugh with the students. They high-five them. They bring the energy level down. They show strength. They lighten up the atmosphere, but they also, there's the veiled presence of strength and of leadership. And I think without that, we're just going to be at a big loss. Here's the article. After high school goes viral for massive brawl, community dads organized to help fatherless students. Community dads are patrolling Southwood High School in Shreveport, Louisiana, following a series of fights that involved nearly 24 students. Last month, a video of several brawling Southwood students went viral on social media. More incidents over the next few days led to police to arresting 23 students and charging them with disturbing the peace. One student was additionally charged with battery on an assistant principal. Okay, now I don't know if that assistant principal was male or female, but again, that's an attack. Battery is a physical assault. But if you only have one or two strong present or male presence in a school, that's not enough. So these dads came in to back them up. They said over the past few weeks, the Shreveport community, disturbed by the violence, has rallied around the school. As featured by CBS News, a group of local fathers began patrolling the school to provide a tender yet firm presence. They formed Dads on Duty, a group of about 40 dads who take shifts spending time at the school in Shreveport, Louisiana, greeting students in the morning and helping maintain a positive environment for learning rather than fighting. Students say it's working, and the numbers prove it. There hasn't been a single incident on campus since the dads show up. Quote, "We're dads. We decided the best people who can take care of our kids are who? Are us," explained Michael Lafitte, who started Dads on Duty. The dads saw that not everybody has a father figure at home. And again, they just kind of go more through the tweets. One student said, "I immediately felt a form of safety," one student told CBS. "We stopped fighting. People started going to class." A report from the National Alliance for Public Charter Schools showed that charter school enrollment increased by 7.1% during the 2020-2021 school year. Other parents turned to homeschooling. The report observes that from March 2020 to September 2020, homeschooling rates across the country grew between 5.4 and 11%. The United States Department of Education found that public school enrollment fell by its largest margin in at least two decades, a 3% drop. They say they want to cultivate your child's mind and form your child's mind in their image, in the image of progressivism, she explained. They might call themselves religious, but they are in every sense of the word. Or they might not call themselves religious, but they are in every sense of the word. They've got their own dogmas. They've got their own kind of theology and their own worldview. We have to teach our kids stuff that you and I probably didn't even have to learn. Our parents didn't have to teach us the difference between a man and a woman. But I also think it's an exciting opportunity for parents to think through our faith. What we do, why do we believe what we believe about gender, sexuality, child deletion, God, creation, our bodies, the government? Why do we believe these things? We can't take anything for granted. And what they're referring to is a lot of the new policies that public schools are teaching do not teach about strong men and parental figures, and it's all about the kids being rebellious and all the other studies that a lot of people are having problems with. So I thought this was a good story. I let me know if you'd like me to do more stories like this down below. Like the video if you do, because again, I follow what you guys want. If you guys love the horror stories and the stuff that you can laugh and roll your eyes about, I'll do more of that. If you like the feel good stories, I do those, and of course, sometimes I do a deep dive into various studies. One of the next ones I might do is one called the 100 Monkey. I don't know if it's syndrome or the 100 Monkey. Let me type it in here and see what it's called. The 100 Monkey. It's not paradox. 100 Monkey Effect. That's the word. So I'll probably do a video on the 100 Monkey Effect coming up here as well. So guys, let me know if you like this one and this kind of topic. I'll do more of them if you do, and we'll go from there.